Welcome to today's podcast presentations on AI and multimedia in teaching, where we will explore where meaningful teaching truly begins. I'm your host, Mr. Debong. Today, the classroom is evolving faster than ever, moving from a static whiteboard to a dynamic and AI-driven environment. To dive into how this actually working on the ground, I have invited four incredible educators. We have Miss JMB, Mr. BL, Mr. NKB, and Mr. CYH to share their real world insights in these topics. So today, core questions is simple. What is your experience in teaching using multimedia or AI? We will have Miss JMB to share her experience first.
Thank you, Mr. Dibong. For my teaching experience before, I've used AI and multimedia tools to support my lesson, especially for science and biology subject. For example, I use ChatGPT to generate some interesting or creative experiment or activities that cannot be found in the textbook. I also use the multimedia tools like videos or animation to help the lesson becomes more engaging and interesting. So sometimes I think that all these tools can act like a teaching buddy, especially when I'm preparing my lesson at night. I will think that uh, what activities can I do tomorrow for students to to make them become more understand the topic. That's where the AI comes in to help me to generate some ideas. But I will check the properly whether the ideas generated has been aligned with the learning objective first. So what I want to share one of my fun experience before during my biology lesson, which is I play the blood type song during the biology lesson. My students ask me, teacher, do we having a biology class or music class today? Ha. After that, I found that all of them are very excited and all of them like can actually remember the content without memorize it by listening to the video, by listening to the music. So from that time, I learned that actually learning cannot always be serious. Sometimes a little bit creativity can make it become more interesting, can make the student become more excited. So, but one of the limitation to use AI is we need to check the information generated properly, and sometimes the answer provided by AI can be wrong. Okay, so teachers does not always be replaced by AI, but AIs can be a useful and creative tool to help us become a more creative and effective teacher. That's all from me. Thank you.
Oh, that's a wonderful experience. So thank you, Miss JMB. Next, we have Mr. BL to share his experience on teaching.
Okay, so hi, Mr. Debong, and hi, everyone. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience. So for me, I personally rarely use AI in prepping my lesson plans. Instead, I usually think of the lesson flow and use of the multimedia tools myself. So you can say that I'm someone who really tends more to multimedia tools. A very good example that I used before when teaching mathematics is showing this website is called GeoGebra, which is I show on screen, and it allows students to interact with the features so they can drag the sliders and observe real-time changes in the graphs, so such as the gradients and y-intercepts. So this basically I can use this to teach this topic, particularly linear equations, so as to provide intuitive visualizations. But I do agree with JN Bay or Miss Bay here that using AI, let's say ChatGPT, in generating ideas for activities using like what kinds of educational technologies, depending on the topic, is a very good starting point in when example doing lesson plans at night, right? So we have that time constraint, and so AI can really help us to give us some rough ideas. But of course, agreeing with her again, we really need to check its accuracy, not only accuracy, but also its practicality. So, according to our own abilities and also to the duration of the class in conducting these activities. So, yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. BL, for his wonderful sharing. So that is really a massive takeaway. So next we invite Mr. NKB Newkimbo to share his experience.
Okay, so hi everyone. So today I would like to share my experience in using AI and multimedia tools in teaching. So during teaching preparation and micro teaching, I often use PowerPoint slides, short videos, and ChatGPT to make my lesson more organized and student friendly. For example, when teaching science or chemistry concepts, I do not want students to only memorize definition. I want them to see the concept, imagine the process, and connect it with real life. So PowerPoint help me to structure my lesson step by step. I can highlight key terms, insert diagrams, use simple icons, and arrange the content from easy to difficult. For students, this made the lesson easier to follow. For me as a teacher, it helped me to control the lesson flow and avoid jumping from one idea to another. For ChatGPT, I use it mainly as a teaching preparation assistant. It helped me to brainstorm my lesson activities, generate simple examples, prepare guiding questions, and suggest way to explain difficult concepts. However, I always remind myself that ChatGPT is not the teacher. It can suggest idea, but I still need to check the accuracy, simplify the language, and make sure the content match students' level and learning objective. So actually, I agree with uh, JMB and BL's their opinions. AI and multimedia tools can help teaching more engaging, save preparation time, and support students' understanding. But the real impact depends on how teachers use them. So, in my opinion, the best teaching is not about using the most advanced tool, but using the right tool at the right moment to help students learn meaningfully. Yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you, Mr. NKB. That's really very typical experience, I can say, in using AI and multimedia tools. So next we invite Mr. CY Hash to share his experience.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Debong. Okay, hello everyone. I would like to share my experience in using AI and multimedia tools in teaching, especially for mathematics learning. Okay, one challenge in mathematics is that many concepts are abstract and difficult for students to visualize. Because of this, I often use multimedia tools such as animations, simulations, and interactive applications to help students see mathematical ideas more clearly. For example, instead of only explaining a graph using static images, I will show animations that allow students to observe how the graph changes when different values are adjusted. Beside that, I also use AI tools during lesson preparation. AI helps me generate example, discussion questions, and alternative ways to explain difficult concepts. And I can also use AI to generate lesson plans as well. Sometimes when I'm planning a lesson, AI can suggest teaching approaches that I may not have considered before. However, I believe AI should be used as a support tool rather than a replacement for teacher. Teachers still need to evaluate the information provided, adapt it to students' needs, and ensure that activities align with the learning objectives. Overall, I find that the combination of AI and multimedia can make lessons more interactive, improve students' understanding, and create a more engaging learning environment.
Thank you, Mr. CY Hash. That's really very useful experience. So thank you all for sharing such a powerful insights. To wrap up for today's conversations, here is our closing thoughts for all the educators listening out there. AI and multimedia tools are not here to replace the human element of teaching. Instead, they give us tools to engage visually, explain complex concepts, boost the student engagement, and save the precious lesson planning time. So that is exactly where meaningful teaching begins. So once again, I would like to say thank you, Ms. JMB, Mr. BL, Mr. NKB, and Mr. CY Hash. Thank you all for tuning in. So that's all for today podcasting. If you like it, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our channels. See you again in the next podcasting. Bye.